Good evening, prospective students and parents of Wixham's Academy. My name is Miss Akhtar, and today I'd like to introduce you to the Business, Computing and Media faculty. We deliver a very current and contemporary and dynamic mix of subjects and take pride in preparing our students for further study in these areas. In business studies, we offer business studies for Year 9 students and above. We give our students an understanding of the various elements of starting up and running a business. Some of the topics that we study include entrepreneurship, marketing, finance, sales and production, as well as organisational structures. We deliver 2 business studies courses. One is the BTEC First Award in Business, which is a very vocational subject. It's very focused on the workplace. And then we deliver the GCSE Business Studies course, which is focused on exams. We take pride in including local businesses and entrepreneurs to come in and speak to our students and give them insight into real-life businesses. We also deliver computing and ICT to all of our students at Wixham's Academy. We believe computing and ICT is a life skill, so we teach all of our Year 7s and Year 8s topics such as e-safety, data representation, computational thinking and programming. We also offer computing and ICT as a GCSE level subject to our Year 9 students and above at Wixham's Academy. Some of the topics that we look at for ICT include algorithms, programming, fundamentals, computing networks, connections and protocols, memory and storage, as well as network security. We just want to mention the fact that computing and ICT is huge. It's very dynamic, it's very current, and in today's age and with everything that's going on around us, the fact that we are carrying out a virtual open evening, which would have otherwise been cancelled, is all thanks to our excellent computing facilities. The final subject area in our faculty is media studies. Media studies is a very contemporary subject. It deals with content, history, and effects of various media forms such as TV, film, newspapers, magazine, video games, music videos, and most importantly for our students, social media. Students will watch, dissect, and analyse different media forms that I've just mentioned using the theoretical framework, which includes things such as media language, audiences, industries, and representation. They will also look at topics such as multiculturalism, changes in gender roles, changes in sexualities, celebrity culture, and consumerism, and how all of these have had effect on all the different media forms that we study. Students will then create their own media product, such as a magazine, a short film, or a promotional poster for a very specific audience. Media studies is not only practical in the way that it allows students and gives students an opportunity to create media for themselves, but it also really kind of enthuses deeper level learning through analysis and evaluation of the different media forms. So what makes our faculty unique? The Wixham's way is what makes our faculty unique. We take pride in making all of our subject areas as practical as possible. We like to spend a lot of time enhancing our students' experience, and all of the things that you can see in front of you now are some of the things that we do to make sure our students get the best experience possible for all 3 areas. We run cross-faculty competitions to give students an opportunity to look at entrepreneurship, to come up with enterprising ideas, to be able to create games using programming and algorithms. We also run film clubs and book clubs to enthuse our students into these subject areas, even when they are not in lessons. We run cross-faculty breakfast mornings to get our students in nice and early, so that, again, they can spend time looking at current affairs, for example, and how they would impact computing, ICT, or business studies. We have also planned for trips such as Amazon and Disneyland Paris, which would also help us deliver our curriculum and make sure our students are very enthused. One of the things that we take pride in here at Wixham's Academy is our STEM Day that we do every year. So we have Lockheed Martin coming in and delivering sessions, tailor sessions to different year groups, and basically just helping them to see how computing, ICT, and such areas come into life in the workplace. In business studies, we've recently had Treat Street from Bedford and Milton Keynes come in and deliver a fantastic session, again giving our students insight into real life businesses and then actually enthusing our students into creating business pitches for themselves. These are some of the things that we've been up to at Wixham's Academy. We hope that you are also interested to take part in this in the future. If you have any questions, please pop them down. I will now pass on to my colleague in the science department. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. Ordinarily, this would be the biggest night of the year in science. We're used to welcoming hundreds of parents and students into our lab so that we can demonstrate some of the exciting things that we do day to day in the science department. And unfortunately, obviously, you can't be here with us tonight, but I didn't want anyone to miss out on some of the exciting practicals that we often offer for students to observe, but also engage with themselves. So I hope that you enjoy some of the demonstrations that some of our Year 10 students will kindly sort of demonstrate for you this evening. To start with, Olivia, if you'd like to come over. In science, we obviously study a broad curriculum. We study biology, physics, and chemistry. So we're going to show you a range of different practicals this evening. And to start with, we're going to focus on a bit about forces. So there's something you'll learn about in Year 7, but Year 8 and onwards into GCSE. So something we constantly revisit. So this is something that you might want to do. I kid, but if you're making your parents a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and you want to mix together the ingredients that you're using, you might want to try this technique that Olivia is going to demonstrate for you now. Thank you very much. So I'm sure your parents wouldn't be happy with you doing that, but that was something known as centripetal force, which keeps an object in motion in an orbit. So a very good demonstration of how physics can work in the real world. I'd also like to welcome, I think we've got Oliver, if you'd come across. This is actually something that you could do at home with obviously supervision from your parents. If you'd like to bring it over. You can create some homemade lava lamps. So all you need, what we've got in this test tube, but you could do it in sort of, if you had a bottle, you can use some plastic bottles, which is an ordinary drinks bottle. What you need to do is put some oil in. So predominantly you want more oil than water, and a small amount of water. And what this is demonstrating is actually density. So we can see that the oil and the water are separated. We've added a little bit of food coloring just to make it a little bit more exciting. And what Oliver's going to do now is going to add some Alka-Seltzer tablets, which are going to generate some carbon dioxide and get some bubbles forming, which is going to give us that lovely lava lamp effect. So if you'd like to carry this out. So something that's very simple, you could just do it with an ordinary drinks bottle, like a Coke bottle. And you just need water, oil, and some sort of fizzy tablets. So Alka-Seltzer are brilliant for this because they do generate a lot of carbon dioxide. And if you want to bring it a bit close to the camera so the students can see different colors, we can produce this lava lamp effect. So it's something that if you wanted to try at home with your parents' supervision, absolutely go for it. Thank you very much, Oliver. Now we'd like to focus on a little bit of more physics here. So Taylor is going to demonstrate how pressure can affect different items. So all we've got basically is, we position this down, we've got a can, we've put some water in, and this is to do with the particle theory, something you'll learn about throughout your time at Wixham's. It's talking about states of matter, solids, liquids, and gases. So when we're heating this can, we've got a small amount of water in, and we're starting to boil it. And what happens to particles when you heat them? They gain energy and they start to move rapidly. So those particles are going to turn into gas and start moving very quickly, and that's going to increase the pressure inside our can. We're seeing more collisions with the particles with the side of the can. And as we start to sort of generate some steam, we'll know that we're ready. And Taylor's going to show you hopefully something quite spectacular with this can. Sorry, just a little bit of patience. Hopefully it'll be worth it. Brilliant. Can you just hold it up to them? So what we've seen is called the imploding can. So what's happened when we've put the can into the water, we've caused a rapid change in pressure, resulting in the pressure outside the can being greater than the pressure inside, and it's caused it to collapse. So imploding or collapsing can. Thank you very much, Taylor. So that is a kind of practical that you'll be learning about and studying in science at Wixham's Academy. I'd now like to welcome Oliver back to the screen, and he's going to carry out something called the whoosh bottle. So you get ready to light your. It would have been better if we had lights out, but we were just seeing there's some ethanol in our bottle, and we were just seeing how flammable it is, basically. Our next practical is something called elephant's toothpaste. So if Oliver and Taylor could come back. What we have here is some hydrogen peroxide, and we're going to see the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide quite rapidly when we add a catalyst called potassium iodide. So if you'd like to quickly do that, boys, at the same time. And quickly move out of the way. So we're seeing rapid production of oxygen there as the hydrogen peroxide breaks down. And I don't know whether you can see it at home, but there's a lot of steam being produced. This is an exothermic reaction that generates heat, gives out heat energy. So again, something you will learn about. You will do practicals, obviously linked to exothermic and endothermic reactions. We can demo this. You won't actually be able to carry this out in class, but you will have very similar reaction where you can actually see a change in temperature being produced, whether it's an increase or a decrease. So exo and endothermic reactions. And we just have one more demonstration for you as I try and shift this out of the way. The final demonstration for you will be something called the Screaming Jelly Baby. So can I have goggles, please, Taylor? So while we wait for this, just to melt this potassium chlorate we've got, like I said, we will study biology, chemistry and physics throughout your time at Wixham's Academy. And we sort of incorporate a lot of practical work. Some of the things you're seeing this evening are practicals that you will be able to carry out in class, but most will be sort of demonstrations that your teacher will show you. But you will learn the theory behind these practicals and what causes these reactions. We also do many other types of practicals. So in terms of biology, we hope that you're not too squeamish, but we do offer the opportunity to do dissections with sort of heart dissections and rat dissections. There's all sorts of practicals that we carry out. So it's a very exciting time when you come up to upper school and start studying science at Wixham's Academy. So again, clearly another exothermic reaction generating a lot of heat is the oxidation of our sugar in the jelly baby that allows that reaction to occur. So that's all our demonstrations for you this evening. We hope you enjoyed them, and it's a bit of trial and error to see whether it worked, and we hope that it sort of made an impact at home and you were able to sort of experience them at home. Unfortunately, it would have been much more exciting for you to be here with us in person, but we hope you did enjoy them. Thank you. So I think now we'll sort of go to our questions that we can answer for you. So I've seen one question that says, how many students per class? Roughly, so in science, we have at year 7, at the moment, year 8, we have about 30 students per class. But as we've gone into sort of year 9 and 10, it is fewer because we actually have an additional group. We have basically 4, at the moment we've got in year 10, 4 form groups, but we've got 5 science sets. So we have, in some of the groups, around 20. So depending on what we're doing, we have different size groups. So we have a couple of large groups and then 3 smaller groups. How many science lessons do students have each week? So again, in year 7, you will have 3 science lessons a week, and then that increases as you move up through the school. So once you get to year 9, 10, 11, you'll have 4 a week. How often do we do experiments in classes? Pretty regularly. So we try and incorporate practical work as much as possible. We feel like actually engaging in that, it develops your learning much better than if we were just to talk to you and go through some PowerPoints and theory on the board. So we like you to engage and get a hands-on experience of this science. And it's pretty regularly, a couple of times a week. I would imagine most classes are carrying out some practical work. Next question, can individual sciences be chosen at GCSE, or is it only general science? We do offer triple science. At year 9, we have started the GCSEs, but we've made it so that every topic is similar for combined and triple science. So we are not sort of streaming it at that point. Every student will study the same topics. Once we get to the end of year 9 and into year 10, we start to sort of maybe encourage students to think about triple science or combined. So it's not an option, but we can guide students to a particular pathway.
Okay, I can see a question here asking, do you cover any kind of coding? That's certainly something that we do in computing, year 9 onwards.
Okay, so do we do dissection in year 7? Possibly. So it might not be in terms of actual class involvement in the dissection. We do talk about breathing, and we can demo some dissection of the lungs. The heart dissection that we do generally comes into play in year 9, but we can always build it in a bit more. So we do study the eye, and sort of we talk about light, and then we talk about how the eye sort of processes that. So we could do an eye dissection in year 7. So also what I say with the dissections as well is that I know that some students might not feel comfortable with it, so there's no pressure that they have to engage in that. If we do have a dissection coming up, we will inform students, we can inform parents, so that if someone's not comfortable with it, they can just let their teacher know, and we can come up with an alternative arrangement for that particular day and that lesson. But we'll also ensure that they don't miss out on the theory behind the dissection, but they won't have to participate if they really don't want to. How many science teachers do you have? At the moment, we've got 5 science teachers, including our head teacher, Mr. Spiropoulos. So 5 in total. I should probably go into a bit more detail about the triple science. We want to encourage students to take triple science. If they're really enthusiastic about science, they really want to do it, we will cater for that and design our delivery of the course to enable them to take triple science. But we would also, because it's so demanding, we will also guide students to what we feel is the best and most suitable route. And often it is combined science. You won't miss out on anything moving up to A level. If you wanted to take A level chemistry, physics or biology, it wouldn't matter if you've studied triple science or combined science. As long as you get some good grades in it, you would be able to take it. So it wouldn't limit your opportunities in any way.
Okay, I can see a question here. Is business and computing combined? So no, computing is a whole GCSE on its own. And for business, we have 2 separate GCSE options. That's the BTEC First Award, as well as the GCSE Business 9-1. So they are not combined. So how many times a week do students have computing lessons? So if they were to choose computing as an option subject, that's year 9 onwards, they would have 5 lessons per week of, 5 lessons per fortnight of computing.
Okay, so how many labs do you have? We have 5 science labs, including our super lab, which is basically double the size of an ordinary lab. It's a really fantastic experience carrying out practical in this environment. So it's quite difficult for us to show you that. Well, if we could actually position, if you want to sort of just show the camera, basically we're in the super lab this evening, so you can see the real scale of that. It's an absolutely huge room. Over that far side where Mrs. is waving at us. We obviously do a lot of our theory work there, and then we can leave all our equipment at our desks and then come over to these desks with all our Bunsen burners and our gas taps and sinks. So that's our super lab, and then we have 4 other smaller labs, but they all have the same sort of equipment and appliances in the room.
So I think if we don't have any other questions, please do feel free to get in touch if you think of any later on. But thank you so much for your time. We hope you have enjoyed learning about our faculties. I know you must have enjoyed my colleagues' presentations over there and the lovely experiments that our students did. So thank you very much.